Today we have, or we're lucky to have our friend Ron O'Neill from Century 21 BJ Roth up in Barrie, Ontario. Good friend of ours, way smarter than me, better dancer, the whole kit and caboodle. Ron's been presenting to the Century 21 Broker Association as well as the Toronto Real Estate Board regarding his other side company that's all in the technology. About the artificial intelligence that's coming into our marketplace. His business is called AI Intelligence Solutions. So if you want to look it up and follow him, I highly recommend that you do. Ron is doing us a huge favor, a monster favor, by coming into our meeting today and sharing his insight to how AI is going to help us, what our concerns should be as well, and some tips and tricks so the beginners can get started, as well as he has a coaching program for the AI. And I encourage you who want to use it to drink his Kool-Aid, sign up, and get started with him, because he's going to give you best practices going forward. And that is, in my world, the right way to do it. Is he knows all the mistakes of what not to do, so he's going to teach you the good stuff first. So Ron, thank you. I'm going to mute myself and the floor is yours, my friend.
Well, thanks, Mike. I really appreciate it. And thanks for setting this up, because it is extremely important, guys. This is one of the biggest, the fastest moving technology in our lifetime. And it's one of the most adopted technology, with over 100 million people signing up within the first 2 months of the launch of the ChatGPT 3.5 system last year. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to take you through a couple of different steps here today. And what's really important today is to understand where we're at today. And when I say at today, I literally mean probably in the last couple of hours. Because artificial intelligence, there's literally an AI wars race going on out there. And it just seems like it's not every week or every day. It's almost like every hour there's a new technology piece being built out there. And what we're also going to be looking at is there is limitations. This artificial intelligence, it's not at human reasoning right now. But is it going to get there eventually? You take a listen to the AI godfathers out there. They're saying that it eventually will get there. But there is limitations, and there's also a lot of dangers. And the thing is that what's important to understand, what are those dangers, and what should we be doing while we're using this technology? What fiduciary due diligence should we be acting within the systems itself? Because I've seen lawyers fined using this technology. I've seen people, multiple copyright lawsuits already happening. So it's important for us to know how and why and how we can use this safely and not become the poster child to the next lawsuit. Then we're also going to take, this is the fun part, this is what I really like, how can we start to implement artificial intelligence tools inside of our real estate space? And you're going to be quite well overwhelmed today as we go through this, because I'm basically trying to pack this next hour in with as much information as possible. Because the thing is that AI can be used in so many different ways, in so many great ways, to get us away from the computer and in front of our client base more often, instead of spending more time in front of the computer, but more time in front of your clients. So we're going to have a fun hour looking at all the tools that we can be using out there today. So my history with artificial intelligence started back in 2020 during the first wave of the pandemic. A colleague reached out to me and says, "Hey, Ron, you're a nerd, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I love technology. I love nerding out on it." And I got access to OpenAI. So OpenAI is the father of ChatGPT 3.5 and 4 system. I went through a number of months of questions, and they were looking for people in different sectors. And surprisingly, they were looking for somebody in the real estate space. So I had a great opportunity. I jumped in there. And I started testing out. When I first started testing out back in 2020, it was very basic. It would hallucinate. I would ask it a question. It would just give me gibberish. It would have syntax errors. It would have a lot of issues. But as we moved into 2021, it started to get better. It started to give me full, complete sentences. Sometimes it would hallucinate. Then by the summer of 2021, what started to happen was new companies started coming out that were also using the ChatGPT systems. And one of the companies that came out was Jasper.ai. I became an affiliate partner with them. They have a really good artificial intelligence system that really produces good language outputs, such as for blogs, newsletters, and such as that. And so I partnered up with them. And by the summer or by the fall of 2021, by the fall of 2021, it started creating full-length blogs. Like, it was really good. Now, in those blogs, there was still errors and issues and stuff. Then we moved into 2022. That's the year that everything started to change. Because by the time I got into the summer of 2022 with OpenAI and Jasper and a few other affiliate partners that I'd been working with, you could see the exponential growth, or the intelligence of these systems were growing really quick and really fast. And then in the fall of 2022, that's when things really started to take shape. Because if you take a look at any artificial intelligence system, the Achilles heel to AI is math. I know it kind of sounds weird, sounds strange, but I'm not going to go fully into explaining it. But I was testing it at grade school level math as I was going through the summer of 2022, and it was getting better and better and better as I was going through. And what ended up happening was, by October 2022, my access was stopped, and I was like, something's going on here. And obviously, I was in chat groups with other OpenAI beta testers, and that's when I started my company up. I founded an AI research company called AI Intelligence Solutions, which is basically our core values is to do research mainly in the AI space of real estate, and to educate others on how to use these AI tools effectively and safely within your space. So, and then something happened on November 30th of 2022, and I'll get to that in a minute. So there's over 40 different artificial intelligence systems out there. There is literally an AI race. Just yesterday, Google just released a little teaser of their new AI system called Gemini, and it's a what we call a multimodal AI system. So that's just two fancy words, meaning it can not only give you language output, it can give you image output, it can give you video output all at the same time, which is, we've never seen that. And in fact, if you take a look at a lot of our researchers out there, when we were originally thinking of when it would become multimodal, we didn't think it would become multimodal for at least another 5 years. But there's a lot of free versions out there. You can see that there's Bing and Bard, and there's Claude, and there's obviously Elon Musk just came out with his AI system called Grok about 4 weeks ago. I haven't had a chance to test that, but his AI model is built upon his Twitter or his X account. So all the information that he has within his AI system is based upon Twitter, which, I don't know, that concerns me a bit, because there's a lot of biases and a lot of opinions that comes out of it. But I haven't tested it, so I shouldn't judge on it. Now, the thing is that we do have text, image, and video multiple generation now, which is pretty impressive. I'm going to show you some of those tools today, and it is the fastest moving technology in history. And we shouldn't ignore it, because at the end of the day, it will change the way we do business, but it's certainly going to advance our society. Even though when we think of artificial intelligence, what's the first thing we think of? We think of the Terminator, we think of Skynet. And there's a lot of fear out there. But as I have been advocating with all the different regulatory bodies here in Canada in real estate, and saying we need regulation yesterday, not tomorrow. We can't be reactive to this technology. We have to be proactive about it. So the big question always comes to me is, are we going to be replaced by artificial intelligence? The simple answer is no, we're not going to be replaced. The thing is that AI can't look into a crawl space or show properties or have that emotion or have that emotional connection with the clients, because at the end of the day, the thing is that there's limitations to artificial intelligence. But what's important to understand is that the agent and the brokerage that is using AI will certainly have an advantage over you. So that's why I've been going across Canada and across North America, talking to our C21 family about we should be using this technology to leverage it, and leverage it in a safe way and an effective way to really leverage it against our competition out there. And I'm going to show you that. And remember, hard work and old schools skills always will be around. I'm part of the Leaders Edge training team here in Canada, and I cannot stress this enough. Picking up the phone, going out for lunch, going out to social events, that is the key to building your business and maintaining those relationships and being top of mind. So don't ever forget that AI is not going to replace us. Okay. So how quickly has humans adapted artificial intelligence? Well, November 30th, which is basically just over 12 months ago, in 2022, ChatGPT 3.1 was released to the world, and it had over 100 million people sign up in 2 months. And what's crazy about that is that their marketing advertising costs for advertising it out was $0 from OpenAI. So it's moving very quickly. And just remember, that was just within 2 months. There's over 1 billion people using AI every single day now. And when it was released, what was really interesting, from Elon Musk to Jeffrey Hinton, who is the godfather of AI, to Sam Altman, who is the co-founder of AI as well, they were all shocked. And one of the things is that they asked, these AI leaders actually went around the world and asked other leaders to pause artificial intelligence. But the simple reality was the genie was out of the bottle, and you couldn't put it back in, and the AI race had started. And what was also, I just want to make a side note to this. A lot of people don't know this, that we know that Google has had artificial intelligence up and running internally since 2017, but they did not release it back almost 6 years ago. And the big question, and I get it, it would have disrupted their advertising dollars and stuff because of their search engine and stuff. So AI has been around, it's just never been released to the public until the last year. Now, let's start to frame it. Let's put it into context. Where are we at today, and how fast are we moving with this technology? So on November 30th, 2022, 3.5 was released. 4 months later, on March 4th, 2023, ChatGPT 4 was released. Okay, that was only 4 months in between the two releases. When it was last tested, ChatGPT 4, it had an IQ score of 155. I don't know what that means, but I will show you what that means compared to Einstein, and you'll kind of get a bit of an understanding of how smart the system is. Now, if you took a look at 3.5 to 4, it was 10 times smarter, 10 times, okay? It was smarter than 3.5. Now, if you take a look at where it's at today, ChatGPT 4 has passed the hardest MBA exam in the United States by Wharton. It's already passed that. It's already passed the US medical licensing system, so a doctorate degree. It's also passed the legal bar exam in the United States already. Now, that's just on version 4, okay? Now, let's put this into context with Einstein. Einstein had an IQ score of 160. And if ChatGPT 4 has an IQ score of 155, and Einstein theorized over 100 years ago the theory of relativity around 1908. At that time, 99% of humans on Earth did not even understand what Einstein was talking about. Now, let's put that into context with ChatGPT 4. If 3.5 to 4 within a period of 4 months was 10x, even if, and Sam Altman, who's the co-founder of open source, has already patented ChatGPT 5, and he said about 3 weeks ago, they're already testing ChatGPT 5. If you were to put that into the IQ score of 155, if it's just 2x, it's going to have an IQ score of 310. Are we, even as humans, are even going to understand AI at that point? I don't know. I don't have that answer, but the reality to it is, what I do know is the tools that we have today are shockingly really good today. And I'm going to show you that. So let's dive into the limitations and dangers of this technology, because there's lots. There is tons out there. And so let's take a look at this. Artificial intelligence can hallucinate. So what I mean by hallucinate is that it basically makes things up. And I've been, obviously testing the system for over 3 years ago. What happens sometimes is you go into, say, ChatGPT 3.5 or 4, or whatever the situation might be, and say, I want you to create a 1,500 word blog post on how to attract first-time home buyers. So it goes in there, it goes into its database, and it gets down to the 800th word. And the AI system says, okay, I don't know what else to write, because I went into my database, I figured out how I can attract first-time home buyers in this newsletter or blog or a script or whatever the situation might be, but I don't know how to get 700 words. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hallucinate, and I'm going to appease that human who's asked me to create a 1,500 word blog. So the first 800 words was correct it came from its proper database, but the last 700 words it was completely hallucinating. It started talking about other stuff, right? So you have to be very careful with this. Now they do testing on the different AI systems, and ChatGPT 4 out of all the AI systems hallucinates less now as compared to Bing, Bard, Grove, and stuff like that. So the thing is that just remember, make sure you check the outputs on this, because what's going to happen, just like this grade 8 student who is doing an essay on the 12th night, the teacher told her to write an essay on the 12th night. So she went into ChatGPT 3.5 and said, I want you to create an essay on the 12th night, and created this output. And in the first paragraph, the student didn't even read the first paragraph. She just printed it off, ran to school, handed it in to the teacher, and says, in the first paragraph says, I'm sorry, but as an AI language model, I'm not able to complete this assignment. However, I can certainly provide you with some guidance on how to approach this essay. So it produces the essay, but she didn't read the first page. And as we know, as realtors, we have a legal responsibility of doing our fiduciary due diligence in this. I know agents right now, in the last couple of hours, this agent sent me over a clause, and I asked him, where did you get this clause? Oh, I used ChatGPT 4. And I said, well, you got to be careful. I said, at the end of the day, that should be vetted by a lawyer or your broker of record before you be handing that out. So and remember, don't be the next lawsuit that's going to happen. What was interesting in the United States, in the New York State, 2 lawyers who were creating a defense case for their client created 6 case laws from ChatGPT 4, handed it to the judge, and the judge checked the case laws. And the judge came back out of his chambers and said, where did you get these? And both lawyers said, we got it from ChatGPT 4, the most reliable source of artificial intelligence out there. And the judge said, well, these 6 cases don't exist, number one. And number two, I'm going to fine you both. Both lawyers were fined $5,000 for using ChatGPT 4. So remember, and there's also multiple copyright lawsuits that are out there right now that's pending in the United States, especially in the film industry, which is kind of surprising. And if you think about this, who would have ever thought a year ago that the longest Writers Guild strike and Actors Guild strike in the world would happen as a result of artificial intelligence? If someone said that to me a year ago, I would have said, nah, I don't believe you at all. But it has happened. So again, the thing is that it is a disruptor in many different areas. The other question that comes up to me is so why are most AI tools for free? Think about that. They're free. And, if you take a look at the operating costs for ChatGPT 3.5 right now and 4, it's costing open source $700,000 US a day. And I did find out why. It was quite evident why all these AI systems that are free is because what AI is doing is you are training artificial intelligence in both using it, and also it's grabbing your data. Okay. And what's really important is over the past 3 months, we've been able to have the opportunity to upload documents inside of these AI systems. Not only can we copy and paste an email, but now what we can do is we can grab a document and upload it into the system. Now, here in Ontario, one of the big things is that I've had this discussion quite a bit through the brokerages and boards here in Ontario, and saying, whatever you do not upload the full broker view of a listing inside of the AI systems, because you're breaking the Privacy Act, and also you're breaking a lot of the board rules in regards to the privacy. So the whole thing is, do not be uploading full broker views. And you might be asking why. Well, you're going to find out in a few minutes why we use not the broker views, but the client views, and we upload listings. And it's because of negotiation, because you can actually coach AI systems to actually read listings when you're trying to negotiate and do your comparables and stuff like that. But you have to be careful with comparables, right? But we'll talk about that in a minute. So be warned, using private and confidential information, you can get fined, or even worse, you can end up in a courtroom by uploading certain documents under privacy as well as confidential information. Now, there has been a surge of deepfakes out there. I've seen tons of them, with Donald Trump to famous stars. And here's a great example. I'm going to show you a video in a minute. I'm just going to do a little excerpt of it. The whole thing is that when you're watching videos and you're watching or listening to the news, and if it's breaking news, just give yourself a second. Is this really true? Is this really happening? because CNN, BBC, they've all been faked and tricked out on videos and pictures and stuff of AI systems showing a plane going into the Pentagon, an explosion in the Pentagon, and they produce those going live and breaking news, and only to find out an hour later that they were deep fakes. So be very careful out there. One of the big things that I've been talking with the policing and seniors facilities and as well as schooling systems is that one of the easiest and simplistic ways to protect yourself is to have a word that only your family knows. So if my wife calls me up and says, "Hey, Ron, can you give me your credit card information?" Well, one of the things is that only Teresa and I have that one word we only know. We don't write it down. So if the family or if your kid's calling up, if you're calling your dad, there's only one word the whole family knows, and it's not written down. And it's a great simplistic way. Now, here's an unfortunate example of what happened early this spring. One of our Century 21 family members who does a podcast in Toronto, he did a podcast, and one of those bad actors out there cloned his voice, and over a period of 2 days, started out on social media, through Facebook, and then got the phone number and then called his dad, this bad actor. But what this bad actor did was cloned his voice through his podcast, and over a period of 2 days, extorted over $10,000 out of the father. So again, this is one of those things that you have to be very careful with. This technology is easy, it's low cost, and it's accessible to everyone. So just be very careful out there. Okay. Now, obviously, AI generated people to voices to everything. And here's a great example.
I don't want to be late to this premiere. We gotta go.
And Owen's run fashionably late tonight.
You're so absolutely beautiful. I love my all. I'm ready to go.
Looking very sharp, Mr. Cruz.
I think we're really gonna want to.
So that type of technology, in fact, I actually have that technology on my computer. It's not outsourced, it's not third party. I actually just went into an open source website about 3 weeks ago, downloaded it. It was less than a gigabyte of memory it took. And I took some videos of me, and I took a couple of actors and cloned it over my face. And it wasn't the voice, but I could have done with the voice, but it did the video itself. So again, this technology is very easy and accessible to anybody and everybody out there that has the internet. Okay, so let's get into the fun stuff. I like this stuff. Now, the big question is, I know I'll get this probably in the chat, Ron, is there something that we can access afterwards with all these websites that you're talking about, and also the prompts? So one of the big things that I'm going to give you at the very end, there's going to be a QR code. If you sign up to my blog, what you can do is I will send you a supporting document of all the websites, and as well as some of the prompts. So what prompts are? Prompt engineering is two fancy words meaning, how do I talk to it? And think about artificial intelligence, that your skill set to use artificial intelligence is English. And if you understand the English language and know how to talk to somebody like an assistant or a colleague to do something that you want them to do, well, you're 98% there. The other 2%, well, the 1% is where do we go? Where do I even find these websites? And the other number 2 is, how do I prompt? Okay, and so, there is some AI courses out there. I'll talk about that coming in January. But what's really important to understand is, look at these tools. Most of them are free or freemium or really low cost. So let's take a jump in here. And so I'm going to give you some real life examples. So I have a real estate team, house to home team. And what it was is that we were going in to do a listing presentation about a month and a half ago. And in this situation, it was that we knew that both the husband and wife were retired, and they were looking, I believe they wanted to list the house at $750,000. And the thing is that it was about $75,000 above the fair market value in their neighborhood. And so what we did was we actually went in, we were doing the listing presentation on Saturday. On Friday night, the team got together. We went into ChatGPT 4 system and watch this prompt that we create within the AI system. So what we're going to do is we're going to frame the situation. So whenever you use artificial intelligence, the number one thing you do, the first sentence you put in there, you have to say, I want you to act as a real estate negotiator. I want you to act as a real estate writer. blogger, whatever the situation. So in this situation, we said, I want you to act as a real estate negotiator. Okay. And I want you to create 3 scripts, 3 opening scripts with 3 different techniques on the following. And we basically framed the situation. We told the AI they're retired. The husband wants 750. The wife doesn't care. She just wants to get moved to the cottage and move in there for the winter. And the whole thing is then what we did, and this was the first time we've ever did this. I want you to create 3 opening scripts. Then I want you to create 3 rebuttals that the sellers might rebuttal against in those opening scripts. Then what I want you to do is create 3 rebuttals to those rebuttals that we can use. And so here we go. I'll show it how this goes here. Just give me a sec. So we go in. Oops. There we go. So I want you to be a real estate agent, and I want you to create scripts for a realtor that has finished a listing presentation and the sellers want to list 75,000 above the average sell price, and then create 3 opening scripts, 3 rebuttals, and then 3 rebuttals to the rebuttals to against the sellers. And look at this. Look how fast it puts it out. It did reduce it to the ridiculous. It did bracketing techniques. It used nibbling techniques. It used every type of technique. So we practiced it on the Saturday just before the listing presentation. We had an open house. We were walking around the house with the scripts, going back and forth, and not by verbatim. And the whole thing is that we went in, and at the end of the day, the husband was still pretty much stuck on the price. And so what we did was we said, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, at the end of the day, we don't want just to list your house. At the end of the day, we want to sell your house. So if you want to list your house at the fair market value, give us a call. Sorry, I said, if you want to sell your house and list it at 675, then give us a call. If you want to list your house at 750, then we're not the best fit for you. And that was really tough, right? Our market's tough, just like you guys out there in Vancouver. And the whole thing is that by the time we got home, the husband called up and said, I'm in the doghouse if I don't get my house listed now at the fair market value. So the whole thing is that, using these techniques, and remember, we've always had generalized scripts, but we've never had these types of scripts before, where we can actually frame it right to the exact situation that we're facing and create sellers' rebuttals and also our rebuttals to their rebuttals. So that's quite amazing. Okay. So simplifying legalese language. As we know, Canada is the melting pot of the country, and we have a lot of great first-generation Canadians. The challenge that we face sometimes when we're sitting down with first-generation Canadians is that their first language isn't English. And as we know, a lot of our real estate documents have tons of legalese language. What you can do now is you can literally go in, and this is this system that we're using right here is called Jasper.ai. There's templates in Jasper AI. So basically, instead of saying, I want you to act as a real estate agent, what you can do is you can go in and you can just click on a template. And in this situation, I took a bit of legalese language, and I said, explain it to a child. I clicked on that template. Then I copy and pasted the part of the legalese language inside of the AI system, and I asked it to provide a grade 8 level output of English in plain English. And in Jasper.ai, you can ask it to do 2, 3, 4 outputs. So this time I just asked it to do 2 different outputs, and basically it took the legalese language and outputted it to very plain English statements for us. Now, you still have to have a good understanding, but this is a good way where you can take a document like this and simplify it for not just for yourself, but for your clients to understand as well. So that is taking legalese language and simplifying it. Now, if you're using ChatGPT 4 or Perplexity or Bing or Bard or on the other AI systems, all you have to do is, I want you to take the following legalese document, and I want you to explain it down to a grade 8 level, grade 10 level, whatever the situation is. Now, this is really neat. As of early November 2023, we have been able to create both language outputs, our content information, and images. Now, advanced social media content, up to November of this year, I would have to go over to an image creator and create an image for social media. And then I would have to go over to ChatGPT to create a caption or a content. Now it's combined. So now you don't have to go to 2 sources. So this is called dual modality. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you how I went in here and I went into ChatGPT 4, version 4, the paid version, and I said, I want you to be a social media copywriter and image creator for a real estate agent for Instagram posts. I want you to create 2 social media posts that are targeting retired downsizers. I want you to create a witty caption, but engaging that would interest downsizers. Then I want you to create for the 2 images using DALL-E 3. DALL-E 3 is just an image creator that's built inside of ChatGPT. Then I want you to create hashtags for each caption. Then create each caption first with the hashtags, then create the image next. So off it, watch this. So I prompted, remember the first sentence is, I want you to be, okay? Then I framed it, I told them the situation, and off it goes. So it even created little images as well in the sentence. So downsize your space, upsize your life. Imagine a cozy maintenance-free home that gives you the more time for tea, and creates the images. Here's the second caption. Now you can also ask it to create 4K real life images as well. I didn't do it that way. I just told it to create the images. So simplify your life and amplify your joys, and off it goes. And again, that didn't exist over 4 weeks ago, and now it does exist. And that's called multimodal, and it's definitely handy in building out your social media content. And that social media content is getting better and better. Remember, also tell it to become witty or engaging, and make sure you use the tell it emotion as well. That's important as well. Next is transferring vast content into precise summaries. Now, the whole thing is that in real estate, just like in any big business, we have tons and tons of information. Just like the Vancouver Real Estate Board provides a real estate report at the end of every month, it's quite vast. And what you can do is, here's an example. I was out in Calgary. Some of you guys might have been out in Calgary. I was talking out there about AI. I took their September real estate report, and this is 29 pages long, and this document was very in-depth. And what I did was I uploaded the PDF of the document, and I said, I want you to analyze the following real estate market update and basically identify any positive or negative trends or any major changes to the real estate market. So it literally scanned this 29-page report and basically identified the good, the bad, and the ugly in that market. And mind you, I'll be honest, the market is really good right now, and it's because of the price point. But take a look at this; it created a 1-page report on this. Now you can use this in a newsletter. You can use this in a social media post. There's so much information, and the whole thing is one of the things that you look at this report. Look, it has the in-depth charts. It actually read the charts itself. So it's actually watching visuals as well. Now, one of the important things I want to point out here, you see the little ones at the end of each of those sentences. If you click on those ones, it'll actually go into the report and it'll actually show you where it pulled that information from, which is amazing. So what you can do is you can fact check it to make sure that, so you don't have to read the full report. You just have to click on that one, and it'll go over to the report where it pulled that information for you. So that's a nice new feature as well. Now, as we know with photos, and I know in the Vancouver market with the condo market is a lot of times we're selling condos that are vacant, and we used to, we don't use Box Brownie anymore. I don't know if you've used a company called Box Brownie where you augment photos, where you can virtually stage photos. I remember when we were using them, they used to cost $49.99 a photo. Now, obviously their prices come down and a lot of the other companies have come down, but take a look at this. There's this website from clipdrop.ai or clipdrop.io. And just take a look at this. It can actually take an image, and a lower quality image. Now, when we're doing it on the computer like this through Zoom, it doesn't do it justice. So you can literally take a low quality 720p image, and it will upscale it to a 4K image now. And you should see that, like, this is exploding all over the place, and it's really low cost. Now, let's say, for example, you want to clean up, you got maybe a dog in the photo, maybe you got a couple bottles or something that you didn't notice, or a Roomba that's sitting on the floor, or a painting on a wall. I don't know if you guys, I've been using Adobe for years to remove images, and I tell you, it was okay. It would still show smudging, but look at this. It actually cleaned it up so well, you couldn't tell that there was an image there, or even it was doctored. So again, low cost. I believe that this type of technology is less than $27 a month for this. So again, this is something new that I've seen at a lower cost. Now, remember, we had to go to a lot of third-party companies. Now, also, we've, like I said, we're talking about virtually staging. Take a look at this. You can actually upload photos. Let's say, for example, you have a dated photo or a room, and it's 1970s paneling. You can actually take the photo and you can actually make it more modern. Now, I do have to stress to you about this. We have to follow the MLS rules regarding augmentation of photos. I get it. I am a compliance officer, compliance speaker here in Toronto about this. So you have to be very careful with this technology, guys. So you can do day to dusk photos. You can also do reverse destaging. So you can actually take a room and take the furniture, all the furniture out, or vice versa. You can put all the furniture back into it as well. So this is a nice new feature, which we've never seen before at this type of price point. So this, again, this is under $30, this type of technology, and this is called AI home design. The other thing, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a disclaimer to whatever you do right now. If you want to test any of these programs out, whatever you do, do not sign up for 1-year subscriptions. And I'll tell you why, because I made the mistake myself. I signed up for a lot of 1-year subscriptions to get that little bit of discount, only to find out 2 months later, another company came out with a way better product or technology and at a lower cost. So just be very careful when you're signing up. Use the free or the freemium and test out and see if you like it or not. Okay, this is something new that's also come out. Obviously, we have to be very careful with this in reference to following our MLS rules. So out here in Ontario, especially where I live, north of Toronto, we're in the Snowbelt region. And under the MLS rules of our board, we have to go out and change our photos from summer to winter right now. So if we've had properties listed, say for 30, 40 days, we took the photos during the summer months. Now what we have to do is we have to change them over to winter. So this is a new technology. I'm sorry I have to use a car in this situation, but this is a great example where you can just use literally text and say, hey, replace the car with the yellow spaceship, or, replace set it on fire, whatever the situation. You can literally take a house, upload the house in here and say, take the following image and change it from a summer scene to a winter scene. And it's going to do this in a few seconds. Here it goes. It covered the floor with snow, and it covered the floor of the snow. Now, again, I'm just going to stress this. We have to follow this MLS rules and regulations on this. When I talked to Treb last week, obviously they were quite concerned about this. And as long as they said, well, as long as it doesn't change or alter the house in any way, it's fine. But again, we're basically at the beginning stages of this technology. Now, some of you might have seen this new technology. I know a lot of younger people are using this technology. The cheapest and easiest way to get a headshot is going to Walmart, but the quality of the headshot, not so great. Now you can actually do in-house headshots for $9.99 and basically $10 US for a week, and you can literally take hundreds and hundreds of photos. Now, this is one app of many apps out there. This is called Remini. So I downloaded the app on my phone, and I took 8 photos of myself, and then went in. And I love animals, so I produced some fun shots here. But at the very end of this video, it's going to show a business headshots. So it's about 80 to 90% accurate. So some of the business headshots were really good. And so I actually kept it. I know some of the brokers of records and broker owners actually use this technology now because it was lower cost for them inside their brokerage they'll do like a week of agents coming in and doing headshots. And so it's pretty impressive. Remember, this is a technology is fairly new, and it's fairly accurate. And it's only $10, and you can do destination shots, you can do business headshots, very easy to use and very low cost. Creating content in just minutes from YouTube. Now, a lot of us, just like me, I hope some of you actually watch. I like to watch Tom Ferry, Brian Buffini, Mike Ferry, Rob Vivian. I've watched so many YouTube videos that a lot of people ask me, how did you learn real estate? I said, YouTube. There's so much content out there. So sometimes I just don't have time to watch videos. And sometimes, or I like the YouTube video, but I want to find out where are the websites. So here's a great example. Here's one of Tom Ferry's colleagues. He's talking about jaw-dropping AI tools for real estate agents. A couple of months ago, I just didn't have time to watch it. And so what I did was inside of the Chrome store, there's over 128,000 Chrome extensions. If you take a look on the far right hand side, you can actually download now on your for YouTube a transcript and summary system, and you can download it, and it takes everything by verbatim, puts it, and you can copy and paste onto a Word document. So what I did was I took it, I uploaded it, and what I asked it to do is I wanted to read the video, the transcript, and talk about the 9 AI tools, and then also, can you also include links to those YouTube videos? So that's what our YouTube AI tools. And so that's what it did. So audio repair, voice cloning, multimedia magic. So I didn't have to listen to the 22-minute or watch the 22-minute video. It actually created a 1-page document where I can click on the links, go and test those tools out. Transcript and summary, guys, it saves you a lot of time and a lot of automation. Okay, so now integrating ChatGPT with Chrome extension. So what's really nice now today is that when you go into Chrome and Google, and you go to Google something, you get your search results, right? Now, what you can do now is you can go in and you can literally have half the screen, the Google results, and on the right-hand side, you can actually have the AI results. So on the left-hand side, we have the search results, and on the right-hand side, we have the AI results. Okay, so now we can have it split screen, so we don't have to toggle in between ChatGPT 4. We can actually have it literally built into your Chrome extension. Okay, nice new little feature. And what's also really nice in the right hand side, it actually gives you the sources of where that information come from, so you can actually click on it and check that source of information. Now, I know some of you have had a website. Have you ever had your website consulted because of SEO and website optimization? Well, imagine this now. You can literally use ChatGPT 4 or some of the other programs out there, and you can actually get it to optimize your website. So what I did, this is our house to home team. That's my 2 teammates there, Teresa and Jill. And what I did was I took their website, and then I went into ChatGPT 4. I don't know much about SEO and website optimization, but I said, can you act as an SEO and website optimization specialist and review the following website and provide guidance? So what it did was it goes over to my website. It literally reads my website. And then what it does, it breaks it all down for me. So focus on improving user experience. Now it gets a little bit technical at the beginning, but then it goes optimize on-page elements. Like as an example, use keywords like Barrie real estate, clean up your URLs, and says use Barrie homes to sell, find Aurelia homes for sale. So it gives you all these little techniques to how to improve the SEO and website optimization. You can go a little bit further into this, which I have with the website already, and it has already helped us out with this. And again, this would have cost, if we went to a third-party company, it would have cost us hundreds, potentially thousands of dollars to have this type of technology. A nice new little feature that I found a couple of weeks ago was this new company called Landingsite.ai. It'll literally produce free websites out there, but you have to obviously rent their server. But here's an example. What we've been doing is we've been building out websites just for our properties now. So here's an example. We had a listing a number of months ago, 43 Browning Trail, about a month and a half ago. And all we did was we dropped in our property description in here. And then what we did was we said, create website. Now, you have to take into context, we did have to upload the photos and change some of the obviously images and stuff. Here, there's dozens and dozens of templates by Landingsite.ai, and we chose the top left one. And we put in our business information and our business phone number. And then within about a minute, it built this website out. So you can see an ode to luxury and comfort, the immaculately maintained 2-story building. And what we did afterwards, this is the raw version of it. It built this all out. And then what we did was we went back in and then we edited it. Now, if we went into Wix or some other parallel website building company, a website builder, it would have taken us time to do it, right? So, but now this can be done in minutes. This, which is incredible, right? This is saving so much time and so much effort, and it also increases your value added from in front of your clients as well. Now, this is another nice feature. Now, about 20-25% of all agents have a really good listing presentation. Because I'm a real estate trainer, I always say about 80% of agents out there don't have a listing presentation. It's usually up here, but it's really important to have a good quality listing presentation. But not only that, what you should also have is targeted listing presentation. Here's a great example of a website. It's called Gamma, and you can literally go in here now, and you can literally basically build out a listing presentation targeting a certain demographic. This is in addition to your listing presentation. This is not just your full listing presentation, because Century 21 gives you a good one. You might have an in-house one as well. Definitely use it. But here's an example. I just basically said, I want you to create a listing presentation that's targeting seniors that are looking to downsize. We want to list our superior services because we take the stress off of our clients. And then they created the slide deck right there. And then you choose the theme or the style, and because our team's color is pink, so we chose pink, and then off it goes. Downsizing made easy, garbage to bin delivery, convenient, cost-effective, eco-friendly, sturdy, and we provide moving boxes. And again, we provide deep cleaning services to our clients, and then staging your home. So basically, we provided everything we do for our clients, and what it does is it really shows the true value added. And all we had to do was provide just a little bit of information about what services we provide. And again, look at how fast this can be built out. And again, very low cost to build something out like this. You can build out a first-time sellers, first-time home buyers package. You can do a downsizer. You can literally spend a week, and literally this would cost you less than $20 to build out all these tools for your business. Now, this is where it gets a little scary. Okay, so this has just came out in the last little while, and you're going to see a lot of this technology. This is called your personal assistant. So this new technology here is this. You can literally go in, and so what I went into is this is called HyperWrite, and I said, I want you to write an email to ron@aiintelligencesolutions.ca on the following: find the stock price of Mattel and find out the health of the stock, and send that information to the email provided. Watch what it does here. So what it does is that it's in HyperWrite website right now. And what it's going to do is it's going to go and review. Obviously, it's going to scour the internet on Mattel, and it's going to give the most up-to-date stock price. Now, you can see it provides a subject line, says current status of Mattel stock. Dear Ron, hope this message finds you well. I'm writing to share the latest information regarding Mattel stock as of you know. So it gives you the stock price. Then it also provided the most updated health on the stock itself. Now, this is where it gets a little scary. Now, HyperWrite literally takes over my computer, goes into my email system right now, and it open it up. It starts to compose my email. It provides the subject line, and then what it does, it copy and pastes the body of the stock, and then sends it out for me. Now, imagine this. This could be applied to almost anything out there. Let's say, for example, you have a CRM, and a client calls you up for the first time. You're talking on the phone, and you can literally go into HyperWrite, and you can say, hey, I want you to put John Smith in I just spoke with John Smith on the phone. Can you take his phone number? Can you take his email? Can you take the length of some information about the call and put it into the CRM? And now it can do that. Now, right now, this is really new technology. This is about 2.5, 3 weeks old. And it's mainly being built out by a company, an intermediary, basically a middle company called Zapier, which is basically, Zapier has a connection to over 6,000 different devices, such as Microsoft Excel, to Google, to, you can imagine what access it can have to it if you allow it. So this is just the beginning. So these are really going to help you out in the future. It's going to assist you in being an AI assistant. How that's going to look like, it's really up to you and how you're going to use this type of technology. But again, you have to be very careful with this. Now, the other thing is that there's a new company out there called Vizsla, and there's another company called Veed out there, Veed.io, and I'm going to show you both Vizsla, where it literally creates out videos for you, okay, through text. So here's an example. I built out basically a house-to-home video for my team, and it's just in the raw version. I didn't change it. And all I said, I want you to create a captivating video showcasing the house to home team and provide some context about the house to home team and what services it provides. It created the content, it created the music, it created the video. Now the video is B-roll, it's not AI, but it basically it looks for the B-roll videos that are associated with it. It also creates the sound, the voice.
Vizsla is an all-in-one video storytelling platform.
And now it's fully customizable. You can put your own B-roll, you can put your own video in there, you can put your own voice in there, you can change the text. So it is completely customizable. So here's the video itself. I'm just going to let it play itself through. I didn't edit it.
Buying or selling a home. Meet the House to Home team, your real estate experts in Simcoe County. We turn the complex process into a smooth journey with professional staging, 3D tours, and drone videos. Our local expertise ensures you get the best deals, whether buying or selling. Here's a success story. Meet the Johnsons, who found their dream home with us.
So that's just a very simple example of, I knew that I could have changed some of those videos out. I could have added my own videos. You know, the whole thing is that this technology is under $30 Canadian a month. You can create 5-minute videos, 10-minute videos, an hour-long video as well. So this technology is just at its start. And remember, let's put it into this context. This is the Model T Ford of AI. This is not even close to a 1960s vehicle. So this is just the beginning of this technology. And this technology is only being basically access to the public for just a year itself. Now, this is another new thing that's just come out. And I know you have to be very careful because there is real estate regulations on this. You cannot advertise yourself out as if you speak these different languages, but you can certainly put these videos out. You have to follow RICA or your MLS rules regarding this, but take a look at this. This is a new technology that just came out in the past month.
This AI tool is a game changer. You can speak any language now at a click of a button. Watch this. Hablo inglés, pero me traducen al español. Me parezco a Messi? Dime che piensas. Posso parlare italiano. Guarda come le mie labbra si muovono a ciò che dico. Posso inviar vídeo a Cristiano Ronaldo. Aprendi a falar português fluentemente. So in 2019, I was working on a video with Dick.
So now what you can do is there's the new technology. It will actually, as you're speaking, it'll translate it, and it'll actually change the way the mouth talks as well, related to the language itself. And it can do it over in 120 different languages now. But again, you have to remember, false advertising can be very dangerous, and obviously follow the MLS rules that you have. Now, this is also new that just came out 3 weeks ago on from OpenAI. You can now what happens is when we go into Bing, Bard, GPT, Perplexity, Claude, all these AI systems, it's all built out on their data sets. Now, one of the things that I've been able to do, and now ChatGPT has allowed us to do, is now we can actually build out our own GPT system with its own knowledge. So it doesn't have to go out to the internet. It'll just go to the information that you gave. So it reduces hallucinations. It reduces misinformation between the United States and Canada or Europe. It reduces information between provinces and stuff. So you can say, all you'll want is information based upon in British Columbia or Vancouver, whatever the situation, based upon the real estate market. So here's an example. I built out what we call the real estate negotiator. So because I was a trainer for the past 8 years within real estate, I took all my real estate negotiation classes that I built out and I uploaded it into this system, and it's called My GPT Systems. And I also built out a staging AI system, so you can upload pictures of a house that you're walking through, you took pictures of it, and it'll actually analyze all the photos, and it'll actually give you advice on how to stage the properties as well, or what to remove or what to declutter, et cetera, et cetera. So in this situation, but I also built out a Tressa bill, and you're probably saying, Vancouver, you don't know much about it. It's okay. in Ontario, what ended up happening was that there was a new real estate bill that was released. And what ended up happening is TRESA, as you can imagine, TRESA is this new real estate bill. It's very confusing. Every broker, every board was very confused about how it works and what it does and what are you supposed to do it. And now what you can do is you can just literally go into this TRESA bill and you can ask it questions and it won't hallucinate, it'll answer it. Or you can go into the negotiation GPT and basically ask it questions. So here's the situation. I have to call the agent up on a counter offer. ABC, it'll actually coach you through it, provide you with some scripts. So it won't go through the whole internet. It'll actually just go strictly through its own knowledge base that you gave it, which is kind of nice. So you can build out staging stuff. You can build out, there's tons of stuff you can deal with this, but we've never seen this before. So this is just asking, how should I communicate to a buyer about the buyer's representation agreement? And what it's doing is it read the documentation and it's providing that output on it. So, and again, that the cost of that, if you it's just $20 US a month for ChatGPT 4. And these are all the tools that you can use with this, right? So here's the staging one. And so you can upload your photos and ask the GPT system, basically, how can I improve, or should I stage this property? And so what it'll do is, what staging advice can you give me for this room? And it literally reads it and it'll say, get rid of the rug. They'll say it's dated, furniture arrangement, consider the flow of the room, sure, an easy through space maneuvering. And so it does read it. So it's pretty impressive that way. I would play around with it. And again, it's just it's only $20 a month for this technology. Now, this is also something new. This just came out about 2 weeks ago. I do a lot of videos. I do a lot of training videos, and you're going to see a lot of some AI training videos coming for me, and they're going to be uploaded through Century 21 Canada. Here's an example of it's just shooting this video this morning. And watch this. Look at my eyes. Just what you want to do is look at my eyes in this. And so the first version of this is me looking at the script and reading the script. Now I can almost hear some of you saying, hold on, Ron, learning AI sounds daunting and I'm not a tech guru and I don't have time to become one. But guess what? You're almost already there, because believe it or not, if you're fluent in English and can type out an email, you're 98% equipped to harness this power of this groundbreaking technology. Now that's the AI technology. Hold on, Ron, learning AI sounds daunting and I'm not a tech guru and I don't have time to become one. But guess what? You're almost already there, because believe it or not, if you're fluent in English and can type out an email, you're 98% equipped to harness this power of this groundbreaking technology. So that's Veed.io. So what it is for me as a trainer, this is great. If you shoot videos on a regular basis, whether it's a blog or vlog or whatever the situation might be, and you want to do, sometimes, as we know, when you look at a script, you can kind of pick up on that. Now with Veed.io, it can actually make your eyes looking right at the camera now, which is absolutely amazing. Now, the last tool I want to show you, hopefully you can hear this. I'm going to turn this as loud as I can. This, it also just came out in the last couple of weeks. This is a realistic sounding AI. So what I did was I signed up for this program that's called Air AI. And it's basically a call taking, and it can take calls and it can also make calls. Watch this as the AI system calls my phone.
Voice call from 218-787-6264.
Hey, Ronnie boy.
Hey, is this Alex?
Yeah, it's Alex with Air.ai. I'm an AI agent created by Air, and I saw you created an account on the platform recently. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for asking. Just doing my AI thing and reaching out to our newest beta members like yourself. So what did you excited about using Air?
Well, I think the big thing is basically making customer servicing calls, a lot of it, but mainly making the calls that I don't want to make, and reaching out to my database, but not just reaching out to my database, but people I don't know, and obviously put business out there for my business currently.
That's awesome to hear. Sounds like you're looking to streamline your customer service calls, expand your reach to potential new clients. That's definitely something Air can help with. Now let's fast forward to a year from now. If you were using Air and it exceeded your expectations, what would that look like for you and your business?
Obviously building my profit at the end of the day, and obviously streamlining the business, as you said, and just making, okay. So just I stopped it right there. The whole thing, guys, this first version of Air is absolutely amazing. And you can actually, what it can do is, I haven't completely signed up for it. You can actually build out your own customer service or its own database. So you can literally upload your own database and it'll actually make phone calls for you. Now, again, MLS rules, regulations and stuff like that. The whole thing is it'll make calls for you now. Dangerous, yes. The whole thing is that this is really new technology. And remember, you have to put barriers in with this technology. So as an example, let's say you use it as a incoming call service for you, and it, instead of it going to voice recording for you, what'll happen is it'll go over to this AI system. But remember, these systems cannot talk about transactions. It cannot talk about the business itself. It can ask, anything basic about the property. But again, are agents going to use this technology? For sure, they're going to use this technology. Extremely low cost and accessible. But again, just be careful with this. So last part of this presentation, here's David. Here's an old show, a night show. And this is David talking to the founder, Bill Gates of Microsoft, about the internet.
Sure.
What covers that exactly?
Well, it's become a place where people are publishing information.
Right.
So everybody can have their own homepage. Companies are there. The latest information. It's wild what's going on. You can send electronic mail to people. It is the big new thing.
Yeah, but it's easy to criticize something you don't fully understand, which is my position here.
Go ahead.
But I can remember a couple of months ago, there was like a big breakthrough announcement that on the internet or on some computer deal, they were going to broadcast a baseball game. You could listen to a baseball game on your computer. And I just thought to myself, does radio ring a bell?
There's a difference. You can listen to the baseball game whenever you want.
All right. Tape recorders ring a bell?
So at the end of the day, this is, obviously as this technology starts to come in, I had a lot of people push back on me about this technology and told me I should quit my job and start, this is just another NFT. This is just another metaverse. But the reality to this is that AI is here and it's not going away anytime soon. In fact, it will never go away. So the whole thing is that, take advantage of AI now, and obviously do your fiduciary due diligence using this technology. Don't be fearful of it because it's been around us for years. The whole thing is that whenever we get on a plane, 98% of the flight is automated. Take a look at our vehicles, take a look at our phones. There's so much automation that we have around us that we just accept it. We just don't even recognize it as automation. We just accept it as it's being part of our lives now. And we're going to be doing an AI course coming this January. We're going to make a few announcements. We're supposed to do it a little bit earlier, but the challenge that we faced is that we almost lost OpenAI. Sam Altman and the president. Sam Altman was fired, which is the co-founder, and the president quit about 3 weeks ago. Thankfully, they came back to OpenAI. The reason why that was a huge factor in me delaying is because at the end of the day, pretty much 40% of all the AI tools out there, the back end is run by ChatGPT systems. So we're going to make an announcement. It's going to be about a 2.5-3 hour course about how to use these tools and how to implement them in your day-to-day parts of your business. So as you know, my company's AI Intelligence Solutions, we do consulting, training, and implementation. The backbone of it is doing research into it. And obviously, our core values is safety and ethical and moral use of this technology. And here is my QR code. So you can sign up to the blog. And what I'll do is within the next 24 hours, I'll have all the websites that you saw out there today. Now I'll open up if you have any questions and I'd be more than happy to answer any of them that you might have. So Mike, are you there as well?
Yeah, I'm here. That was cool. I've got 3 pages of notes. So I think I'm your first customer in Vancouver, that's for sure. And thank you so much. It's The phone call thing is scary, and I personally think I've been contacted that way a few times now. Cause
Yeah,
I've heard that guy's voice, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
and it was just too smooth, but there's some ideas that I've got for my brokerage that I liked it. Guys, what do you think? Does anybody have any questions for Ron as it pertains to your ideas, or has it been used like this before?
Yeah, Ron, it's Rhiannon. Hey, quickly, you were saying at the top of your presentation that you're actually lobbying government for some stuff. I'm wondering what it is in relation to specifically, how it relates to real estate, and especially because we only really have access to ChatGPT. Unless you have a VPN, you're not able to do Bard, Gemini, and all that other jazz. So I'm wondering what it is that you're chatting with them about.
Yeah, basically what's going to happen is the first and foremost is like when it comes to the regulators and it comes to the boards and stuff like that, is first of all, we have to make sure when we start building out these chatbots and systems and stuff, is that we have to make sure that we identify who are they talking to. Are they talking to a real person, or are they still talking to a ChatGPT system? Then also we have to regulate the bots itself. The whole thing is that agents are going to jump into this because this technology is too easy to use, number one, but it's also there's holes into it. So what I mean by the holes is that you can go and create a chat bot system itself based upon your listings, put the bot on your website, and then all of a sudden you got the full client view in the chat bot system. And then the client starts to ask questions about commissions, starts to ask about pricing and stuff like that. That's when the AI has stepped over the line, right? And what sounds like you understand these systems, these AI systems. I can tell when I'm talking to someone like you. The thing is that it's just, first of all, I'll be honest, when I'm talking to these groups, they don't know where to begin. They like all the reality to it is that they look at it going, I didn't know it does this. And I'm like, exactly. And I said, what's going to happen is this is going to be another Titanic situation where we're going to be reactive versus proactive, right? And I said, I'm just saying, I'm standing, like I went to the Toronto Real Estate Board last week, and I said, guys, I presented, and they stood around 20 minutes, like staring at the screen going, oh my God, changes everything. And I'm like, yeah. And I said, you guys have to start a committee up to start to look at this. And they said, the whole thing is, I don't know what that looks like. I'm a researcher, but I know how much of an impact it's going to have. But we have to open up the discussions and have all different parties at all different levels to figure out what we need to and how to regulate this.
And then, hey, one more thing. So right now, what do you see as so in terms of early adopters, given how many agents are actually out in the marketplace, are you seeing, like, since you're doing presentations and all that, there's not a lot of uptake right now?
No, not at all. And the reason being is because
Great, that's awesome for me. Perfect.
Yeah, and the reason being is because I asked the agents all the time. I said, because I've been doing this presentation for over a year now, right? And I said, guys, have you even invested into ChatGPT 4 yet? They say no. And I'm like, and I did a test yesterday as an example. I was with one of the brokers from C21, and I said, run the same question 3.5, and I'll run the same question in 4, and then show the difference. 3.5 came up with nothing. 4 came up with huge amounts of information, right? So again, yeah, be an early adopter, because the agent that uses AI is going to have huge amounts of leverage compared to the competition out there. And obviously our team is using it. The whole thing is I built out tons of AI tools for the brokerage, and for our broker record and stuff like that. And I love her so much. She's really sweet and stuff, but she still hasn't invested in the ChatGPT 4 system yet, right? So be an early adopter, take advantage of it.
Any of those things that you built out for the brokerage that you want to share with me or us? I don't know that Michael will understand a lot of them, but I'd be happy to take a look.
Yeah. I think the big one is definitely using building out a negotiator, which really helps out, because as you know, with the ChatGPT 4 system, when you go in there and you have like you basically start out negotiating with an agent, you frame it, and the great thing is that now it's a day later, you can go back to the same thread conversation, and it remembers it, right? And so you can go back to it, and that really helps me out. So I don't have to reframe it every single time and say, okay, this is the situation, right? So that's kind of nice. But all I do is, I just want to mention, thanks for bringing that up. Whatever you do, do not upload any copyrighted content into these AI tools, please, because there's a lot of lawsuits. Even though Sam Altman, the co-founder of ChatGPT, is saying that he'll defend you and pay for your lawyers. Look, we're in Canada. I don't think that is available to us up here. But again, be very careful. And now the other thing I was going to mention, if you're going to build out a ChatGPT system, just make sure when you build it out, make sure you put a sentence in there and say, if someone asks on the content or the information where it came from, do not disclose. Okay, so it doesn't try to steal the information from you. Because I know some people out there trying to steal the content from the GPT systems that we're building out. So
Great advice. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Ron, I have a couple other questions, and for the, like, I know what I'm going to ask you probably offline, just for as a brokerage, but
Yeah.
for the realtors, I'd be asking these systems, how can I write a social media post to attract buyers? How can I write a social media post to attract sellers? But I think it's really important, and Ron, you and I were talking about this before we went live, is I want it to sound like me. So I think there's some steps, you guys, that you have to take in order for you to share your writing style, maybe your voice style, if you're going to do a voiceover and stuff. Because if you're sending this to your customers and you already have a relationship, and all of a sudden your tone sounds different, then I think you're doing yourself a disservice. And I think your customers will kind of pick on that, or pick up on that. And then all of a sudden, I would think the relationship kind of loses its wow type of thing. I love I do a lot of video too, and I do a recorded video that I posted out. I love the eyes that you showed. It makes total sense. It's that next level of engagement. And I wasn't quite sure what you said, but if you're using ChatGPT, is there a disclaimer that you have to use when you're doing postings, whether they are print material or online?
Not as of right now, but eventually, I believe the regulators will come out to potentially regulate that, or identify that it was content created by AI. Potentially, I don't know, because there's automation being around for content creation for years and years. It's just at this level, it's never been this at this level, right? Because and as you said, Mike, I hear this all the time. I said my agent responded back to me, but he was way too smart. And how he responded, right? And the thing is that I think that eventually what's going to happen is we're going to have to identify what's AI and what's not, until it becomes mainstream. But what's dangerous is that those chatbot systems, those AI callers, those call taking and inbound calling is going to be definitely have to have a lot of regulation on that.
Yeah, I see that as more of the scammers taking advantage of that, because you're no longer getting a call from another country where you hear the room being loud with everybody that speaks half English. Now it's going to get more personal. The one thing I missed writing down, this personal assistant, what was the website for that?
Yeah, it's called Hyperwrite. Now, just as a side note to this, so you can literally build out any of those systems through Zapier. So Zapier. Zapier is basically a middleman, where it connects to, you could potentially connect to 6,000 different tools that are out there, whether it's your email system, whether it's Microsoft Word, whether it's it can connect to your phone system. It's amazing what it can do. And you're going to see an explosion of different tools, like as an example, CRM, these new CRM systems that are going to come out, like a la carte type systems, where agents don't have to kind of choose one type of system. They'll have a choice of a variety of things on the menu of a CRM system, and they'll say, I want that, and that. I wanted to record my conversation. I wanted to summarize the conversation. I wanted to make sure it grabs the main points and puts all the main points into this CRM system, right?
Yeah, I think that personal assistant is something that I'm gonna look at, and I think all you agents should look at something like that too, just as you know, you're driving in your car, you need to send somebody an email or some sort of document that you know that you have. That's pretty smart. Ron, that was exciting, scary, wow, oh shit type of comments that I have in my head type of thing.
Yeah.
But I really, really appreciate your time. Anybody else have any comments? We will have this we do have this recorded. We will send it out to everybody. But yes, I've already taken the QR, and I know we're gonna sign up for it as well.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And remember, guys, don't hesitate to reach out to me. And thanks, Mike, for having me. I think this is important information that we have. Spread the word out there, and make sure you have that safe word with your family in regards to the financing that nobody else knows. Okay, guys?
Yeah, hey, have a Merry Christmas to you and your family, and say hi to everybody over there.
I will. Thank you.
Hey,
Enjoy.
buddy. Take care.
Bye.